Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icons to miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us we have the Sangean SR-35. This is an AM FM portable radio. I got this radio for $20 from Amazon, shipped in about a couple days. The blister pack came pretty beat up, so I took it out of the package, and here's the radio. I'm revisiting this radio. I had reviewed this probably about a year ago, did some comparisons between this and the Sony P26. P26 did win that comparison, and there's some reasons, and we'll talk about them in this video. But I figured it would be a nice way to revisit this radio, do a formal review again of this radio, and talk about its strength and its weaknesses. So let's go ahead and just show you what came inside the package first. That's the radios there. We get this little baggie, and in the bag we get some paperwork. As you can tell, I haven't even opened it yet. Let me get this on camera here. Tape the heck out of it. Okay, oh yeah, there we go. We get a carry strap. Actually, it's pretty large. Nice. You know, handy feature, hanging off doorknob, off a rafter, off a hook. You know, when you're working in the garage or in a workshop, pretty handy to have. Awesome. Next, we have the warranty. Sangean's usually known for 90 days on their small radios, and their more premium radios are known for a year. What is this one? I did not know. Okay, 90 days right there. So, not too bad. All right, next, some foreign language stuff. Okay. It's like a product code, how to decipher your serial code. That's what that looked like. Okay, so here we got a little fold-out manual with different languages. Going over the features, pretty basic operation, which we're going to cover in this video. But let's see if there's any specifications we can look at. I do not know where it would be. Here it is. Okay, here's the English. Wait, nope. Where's the English? I'm seeing English up on top. Okay, hold on. I gotta flip this around. Okay, there we are. Specifications. It's on 2 AA batteries. We'll talk about that. So frequency coverages are pretty basic for America. North America, we have 87.5 to 108, and AM 520 to 1710. The speaker is 2¼ inches. Not bad. You got a mono headphone socket there. Alright, so pretty basic, and we'll go over it, but there is your instructions if you need them. Okay, in 5 languages. Yay. Let's bring this radio front and center. Go over dimensions. We're 2 3/4 inches across, 5 inches tall, and a case depth of 1 inch. For size comparison, I'll bring a few radios out. Let's see what I have handy here. I have a CC pocket as always. As you can tell, that pocket's definitely smaller. But the neat thing about the Sangean is it has a built-in FM antenna, while the C Crane has a little tiny wire antenna on the inside, just not as good as a retractable telescopic antenna like that. But there you go for size comparison. Pretty cool. And then we have its bigger brother, the Skywave, CC Skywave. Now the Skywave is almost the same size as this Sangean. Look at that. Alright, cool. And then of course we have Iron Man. He's the man with the master plan. He can do it like no one can. He can shoot lasers from his hand. He loves radios from Japan. Not China. Japan. Though this Sangean is Chinese made. But he likes Japanese radios. Okay, so that gives you an idea. Deck of cards. I do get excited about my Iron Man. Alright. So let's talk about features of the Sangean SR-35. Okay, so as you know, you've probably seen my other videos and seen this featured. Glad you guys like this radio. There's a lot of good merits to it also. Let's go and start looking at some of those. Let's see, left-hand side here, we have a volume on-off wheel. Nice and wide and very low profile to the radio. I like that. The real neat feature is a telescopic antenna here. It sits nice and flush into the case of the enclosure there. See how it's nice? It's a spot made for it. I like that. The Sony P26, they put it past the case as an afterthought. I don't know why they did that. That was one strike against the Sony. This antenna goes out to 18 inches. It doesn't really swivel much, just kind of straight up. There you go, pretty basic. It does lock in nice and tight here at the bottom though. There you go. We have our headphone jack. So this is FM mono, as you saw in the directions. This here sounds pretty good. It has nice mids and lows on FM, which I liked. AM is a bit of a muddy tone. So if you like that, it'll be good for you. I wish I could like it for more of my voice or DXing, but for that, I just use the main speaker. But for FM listening, sounds fantastic. For the radio, we have the dial, really high visibility. We have the AM, it says 540 to 1600. It does go from 5 on the back here, it says it, 520 to 1710. So it just doesn't say it up here, which it did. Then you have 88 to 108 on the FM. Here we have an on indicator. It's pretty much a painted wheel here. It doesn't really glow, it's just painted. As you saw, the tuning light went on. That's a green LED that lights up when you're in tune with the radio. Sangean. Got this high gloss top and this matte finish bottom. It's kind of interesting. There's your 2¼ inch speaker there. Good thing about the speaker is it does definitely outperform the Sony's P26 speaker. This has a lot more depth to it, a lot more low end, a lot more mid range. Sounds really good with music, and halfway decent when you're listening to a ball game. So it's less ear fatigue with this one, definitely for sure. There's your model number SR-35. Right hand side with the tuning wheel, band select AM FM. Back of the radio, again, show it to you because I just showed it to you a moment ago. Your frequency range. We have a vented case, and then we have the battery compartment. It looks like our serial number there. So this battery compartment is hinged, I believe, yep. And we have 2 AA batteries in there. It appears the top battery, the positives to the right, and the bottom battery, the positives to the left. Okay, there you go. Using some Delco Super Alkalines. Those are pretty good. Pretty good deal on Amazon right now. All right, did I get that closed? I can't tell. Yep, looks like I did. And of course, there's feet on the bottom, so it stands. And some people mention that the antenna can be used to help stand the radio up. And there's a spot for that wrist strap, carry strap right there. Those 2 little holes. Okay, so let's talk about FM reception. Then we'll turn it on, do a little audio check. And then we'll cruise to the medium wave band and kind of talk about its merits and why. I sold my first one and bought the second one. This is my second SR-35. My first one I gave away because I wasn't too happy with it, but this one I'm going to keep, and we'll talk about that. So FM reception. I rate this on a 5-tier basis. Okay, that's a fair, okay, good, very good, excellent. Most radios fall in between okay to good, which is 2.5-star rating. That's typically an analog radio. The old school radios. The newer radios like this DSP tend to be a little higher on the sensitivity, and this one did. It scored a good 3-star rating, which found about 63 stations. Again, on average, a normal analog radio finds about 48 in my location, so really good on sensitivity. Selectivity is also good, but there's a lot of stepping involved with a DSP chip. That's what this radio is. It's not analog, it's a DSP, digital signal processor, so you have that stepping, and sometimes you have a lot of false peaking. On stronger stations, it tends to wipe out those fainter stations. So if they had a better circuit, you'd probably get more stations too. So just something to think about, Sangean, if they revisit this radio. I hope they do. So yes, that's that. See, selectivity I mentioned was good. So good. So it's a 3-star rating overall. All right, so we're going to turn it on, and we're going to listen to Radio Todderbert. Yeah. Turn this on here. Now what you're hearing is music transmitted by C. Crane's FM transmitter 2. If I can get it over here. It's a bunch of wires. This is hooked up to a Sony MP3 player playing YouTube, download sanctioned music, royalty free, so I can broadcast this and not have any issues with copyright. There's our little line there, yeah, line level. Pretty cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn this up and listen to it for a few minutes. And we'll do a band scan. go, get a little idea what the audio sounds like. If you compare it to my other videos, you'll definitely hear a distinct difference between this and the P26 or the other radios if you're comparing. Definitely worth checking out. I'm going to turn that off for a moment. I'm going to turn off my transmitter, and we're going to do an AM band scan with this radio and kind of talk about its weaknesses on that. The reason why I sold my radio to begin with is because it has a popping sound related to faint stations on the medium wave band. I would be listening to this at night, and then the station would fade away and it would start popping really loud, and I was really upset by that. And then a year later, I figured maybe they fixed the problem. Got the radio. They did not fix the problem. It's still there, and it's really noticeable during the day. So if you're watching this video and you really like this radio, hey, go ahead and get it. It's an awesome radio. FM, AM, locals, semi-locals are decent. But when you start going for faint or fringe stations, forget it. All bets are off. You're going to be very unhappy with the popping sound you're going to hear. I did a daytime video, and that will release after this one in the evening, and those really showcase it. I thought about it, and in those videos I mentioned that I was going to take the tuning LED out and see if it was just a tuning LED, with the circuit making that popping sound, and I did that. Took this LED out. It was kind of a pain, but I did it, desoldered it, and it did not make a difference. So it's definitely in the circuit on the IC itself. So something I can't really change. Maybe there's a way to filter it with a capacitor. I don't know. Somebody with some more better radio knowledge might be able to do something, but my limited knowledge on that circuit, I'm going to leave it alone. It's a $20 radio. It's working good for what I have right now, so I'm pretty happy as far as what it can do. So let's talk about that. Medium wave during the day, awesome on locals, awesome on semi-locals. Forget fringe stations. Just forget them. This is supposed to be a really good DX radio. I would not call it a DX radio because of that popping issue. If it didn't have that issue, I would say it's a great DX radio, and it's up there with the top portables out there. But that's why the P26 won, because it didn't have that issue. It's a pure analog. Even though it may not be the best on FM or the best speaker, it is best all around on both bands. So that's why the Sony won. But let's listen to this one. We're going to the bottom of the band here, turn on AM, give them like my final thoughts before I even get started, but it's fun. Let's go turn this on here. See what we can pick up. This does get very sensitive. I can pick up faint stations with it, and I don't have to play around back and forth, which is nice. I noticed that with this radio. Similar, I like this one here, this Diaugle PR108. This is like a $12 radio with DSP. I love this thing. Picks up all the stations this one can. This one's a little harder to tune, back and forth, back and forth. This one here, I noticed, not so much. So that's also a bonus, but again, the popping thing kind of kills it. So I just want to do a plug for that Diaugle PR108. That's a good radio. All right, let's go ahead and turn this up. And make sure I put on AM. Yes. So I think this is 540 WAUK, Jackson, Wisconsin. About 70 miles away, 400 watts at night. You can hear it popping a little bit there.
Down $20,000 in credit card debt, which is huge.
Call Trinity at 1-800-990-69.
Now, this is a local station, WIND, Chicago, Illinois, on 560. This is actually really nice sounding. Oh, you know what? I should be showing you the time, too. 10:43 p.m. Central Daylight Time near Chicago, Illinois. Give you an idea. There's no storms in the area, so we shouldn't have a lot of lightning strikes.
Welcome back to America First. I'm Jennifer Horn in for Dr. Sebastian Gorka. He's on vacation. He'll be back with you next Tuesday.
We'll pick up a few little birdie tones here and there when you're off frequency, but when you're on frequency, I don't tend to hear them. Okay, country music there. I'm going to check it real quick with the Skywave. I'll use this as my frequency checker today. This one's easier to get on frequency quicker. We're going to see if we got 630 there. Yes, we did. So 630 CFCO. Yes, CFCO, Chatham, Ontario. 310 miles, 6,000 watts at night. Cool. Okay. Did you have to move it back and forth? Now, if I move this around. Okay. I'm picking up WSM. Okay, so we're kind of crossing. Two stations are going back and forth. 640 WMFN, Peatone, Illinois. That's a Hispanic station. And now we're like locked on at WSM, Nashville, Tennessee, which is 434 miles, which is coming in stronger than my local 640 station. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and go to 670. That's coming in nice.
Well, he did get hit. He said more or less that he executed, right? So I think in more starts, a bigger
670 the score, WSCR, Chicago.
As he's been throwing in the past two starts, I think things start to normalize out for him.
That would actually be great. I would appreciate that very much.
From 670, we should be able to go right to 700.
Miller of Cubs Insider. So just past the net.
Like mushed together, and it leaves him at 63 and 69, and so frustrating. And yet I know, and I answer the question every time. A year ago at this point, they were 57 and 75. Oh, thank God I wasn't doing extra innings last year.
So 700 is WLW, Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles.
People say, well, but they're still, they still have a losing record, but they still have...
It's balance in nature, so keeping healthy. So I'm just going to continue.
Experience the balance of nature different for yourself.
Didn't know if I was going to find the station. I found it the other day. 710. It's hard to get because it's between 700 and 720, which are two big stations by me. This is WOR, New York, New York, 750 miles. Again, nice find between WLW and WGN. So
find all the supplies and inspiration you need. Send them back in backpacks overflowing with style.
Again, it bounced right to 720 there because it went out of tune. So it seems to happen. If the station tends to fade, a stronger station takes over.
And beyond.
720 WGN, Chicago.
Limit 2 while supplies last.
Andy Mays back to be here. White Sox postgame continuing from Guaranteed Rate Field. 8-2 in favor of the Twins here.
It's got good sound. Love it.
Final game of the three-game series is coming up tomorrow. We'll have the pregame for you.
Okay, so the music there, I had to turn it up a little bit. CFZM, 740, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles. Zoomer Radio, it's a great station. Always comes in nice for me.
As what we would have paid in the warehouse, but that was our big question. We ended up ordering it. We spent about $200 worth of stuff. A lady showed up probably about 2 hours later with all of our delivery items, really nice, friendly, smiling, helped us carry it all in. Did a great job of it, but what I was wondering was, how much more am I paying for that kind of service?
Coming in nice here. WSB Atlanta, Georgia. 750. This is 630 miles for me. Pretty cool.
And that's my back of the envelope thing from looking at it to see 2646 800.
So as you can tell, if the station's coming in nice and clear, you won't hear any popping sound with the tuning light. But if the station's faint or fading, you will definitely have issues. This is 760 WJR Detroit, Michigan, 270 miles.
Premier online cigar store, and we're celebrating our 80th anniversary.
I took this radio apart. It was built really well, so as far as the quality of parts, I would say it's well made for the money.
Extra special deal. Spend just $80 or more, and we'll instantly
Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
The sky's clear tonight with a low of 57 degrees.
WBBM, Chicago.
Partly cloudy, breezy, and
780.
warmer tomorrow, a high of 83, but with showers and storms.
Good news, with a cash out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily see some of these.
Okay, this is 800. CKLW, Windsor, Ontario. It just bounced back by itself.
Radio 780 and one.
almost at a time. We'd like to take one more question live.
That can be annoying. Yeah, see if I could hear call letters, but I think it's a CKLW, Windsor, Ontario, 800 AM. I'm going to do some more detailed band scans with it, so definitely look forward to those. So we're at here.
Here's one of them. I'm Gary from Clifton Park. The IRS said my wife and I owed $500,000 and were about to seize our house. I had absolutely no luck with any of the national tax companies.
This is WGY, Albany, New York, 740 miles.
Which no one caught except for Brian. He corrected the error.
Oh, WCCO. We want you to put the very best...
Okay, just caught the call letters there. WCCO, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 8:30 a.m., 310 miles.
Perfectly with your Case IH equipment. They deliver the performance your business demands. We've met a lot of folks who were trapped because they were overthinking their financial decisions.
This should be 840 WHAS, Louisville, Kentucky, 300 miles.
Really hard, and you make a lot of sacrifices to save all your money. And well, just imagine.
Takes on cases that he believes in, and then he's going to fight like crazy to win. Dan only takes on serious personal injury cases. You can reach Dan at 303-770-5551 or DanCapitalisLaw.com. That's DanCapitalisLaw.com.
At Tri-State, we are taking bold steps together with our members.
So we're picking up KOA Denver, 850. Colorado, which is 890 miles.
Because in a world focused on numbers, we're putting people first.
Right next to it's 860, CJBC, French-speaking Toronto station, 460 miles.
Mais pour vous dire que toutes les séries, les noms, les films qui ont été mentionnés, les références, merci Rebecca, seront donc disponibles sur la page de l'émission.
For the next couple of days.
Dorian now could land anywhere from South Florida to South Carolina or Monday. It hit St. Thomas as a Cat 1 today. Brigitte Berry works for the island's Olympic Committee.
We have some down power.
Let's see where it jumped to.
No electricity parts of the island now. I know St. John just got power back.
Okay, yeah, jump back. A little bit of backlash on the dial. Went to 840.
And there's some down trees.
Hi. Think Applejack. Is it Applejack?
Nous non évidemment au Québec district 31 qui va recommencer avec donc
That's probably 870. This should be 880.
And your purchase comes with an exchange or return policy. You're cordially invited to experience the difference at Mercedes-Benz.
880 is WCBS, New York, New York.
All Mercedes-Benz vehicles are created equal. The difference is where you buy them. Of all the big sales for Labor Day, here's one on beds and mattresses that's worth a special mention. You'll find
Wednesday, May 5th.
Just gonna kind of cruise the dial quickly now.
Shows a blind spot. Group of people say, hey, this is the
kind of poise that impressed even the people that hated him. And, there were 20,000 drunken people screaming, watching him walk from the city councilor,
Funky music. Here's an example of that machine gun sound. Yeah, if it didn't do this, it'd be nice.
I have my own story that's kind of developing.
Because there is no holistic.
Says it once a day. I wish I were friends with Chip and Joanna.
But as you notice, it's picking up tons of stations.
We do, however, watch the show once in a while.
to protocol moment is a form of suspension of Parliament. There's actually very little they can do, as it is a very good show.
Call Optima right now for you.
Inside his home.
Today, survival efforts desired.
It's coming from the issue of, the border crisis, which they do not.
So long, McGuire. Well, what do you know? Now, that might be a Saturday.
I take it all back. It's wonderful, too.
Oh, Sal. Give me the high stand when you see a filling station. We need another 6 gallons of gas.
Some kind of classic radio. I'm not sure what station. Huh. Cool. Style's fairly accurate. Okay, I'm gonna zip it up to the top.
Want the inside scoop about today's hottest movies and biggest stars? Check out Variety and
Producer and an actor and a director.
CHHA, Toronto. I knew I heard it. A little bit of back and forth to get it. This radio taps out 1700. You can hear I think this is a Texas station, Hispanic. Okay, there we go. We'll turn it off. And we'll do final thoughts on the Sangean SR-35. Yes, bought it a second time. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it. When I'm listening to locals, semi-locals, like I mentioned earlier on my medium wave, FM is just a blast to listen to. Sounds fantastic. Good reception with this antenna. Good with the headphones. Nice solid construction. And the speaker sounds really good. I mean, it's definitely a better sounding speaker when you're using this all the time. So this, it's pretty close to matching the P26 as far as a competitor. It's just that it falls a little short with that medium wave, with that popping. If it didn't have that, this would be the #1 go-to radio. I'd recommend under $20 to anybody if you can get it for under 20, because sometimes it drops, $19, $18 if you watch it on Amazon a few times. I got mine for right around 20. But yeah, not a bad radio overall. So if you're looking for a nice FM performer, decent AM listening for local and semi-local stations, pick it up. Don't even think twice. But if you want to DX with this, you want to do some medium wave DXing, forget it. Just pass. Grab yourself a P26. You'll have more fun with it. It sounds cooler to scroll through the analog band, so you'll enjoy that. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you're a Sangean fanboy or fangirl, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future videos. Those band scan videos are coming of this radio. I found some cool stations with it, so it is very sensitive. 2, that is 2. 3, of course, comment below what you think about the SR-35. Would you buy it after I went over this a second time? So let me know. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.